Name's Jensen Briers. 44 years old. Been breathing the air of Webstone near my whole life. It's a quiet town, dusty roads, empty fields stretching farther than I can squint. Folks around here all know each other, which means they all know me. And worse, they know what happened. Used to be, I had a crew. Good old boys. We hit the bar come sundown, shoot the shit over cold beers, maybe stumble home laughing at nothing. Ain't never been much with women. Too shy, too quiet. Don't look 'em in the eye long enough. But folks still like me. Hell, most would say I was the kindest soul Webstone had. That was before. Now when I walk into town, people cross the damn street like I'm carrying the plague. Don't speak, don't nod, just look through me. Or worse, don't look at all. My friends, gone. Scattered like ashes in the wind, all except Harold. Harold's still here. Always been. Probably always will be. He's the only one who believes me. Knows I ain't spinning tales for attention. Ain't looking for sympathy neither. Hell, if I could forget it all, I would. But things don't work that way. Not after what happened. I ain't a monster. I ain't changed. I still wake up in the same damn house, drink the same coffee, wear the same old boots till they split at the sole. I'm still Jensen. Same old. But I reckon they don't matter much anymore. Not around here. Happened about 4 months back. I was out behind the barn feeding the hogs like I always do, when I caught sight of something strange up in the sky. A star, only it weren't just any old star. This one was shining brighter than the rest, damn near humming in place. At first I figured it was like the North Star, but then I saw it ripples. Real ones, like someone had dropped a stone in the sky instead of a pond. I stood there slack-jawed, just watching. The ripple spread wide, slow at first, then vanished into the dark, like they'd never been. And that star, it started moving, real slow, straight line, didn't flicker, didn't drift, just glided smooth as ice right across the heavens. I forgot all about them hogs. My eyes was glued to the sky. Then I saw 'em, 2 more stars. They'd moved too, leaving their usual spots behind, floating toward that first one, till they all hung there, right above me in a perfect damn triangle. Like some kind of sign. A constellation that don't belong to any chart I'd ever seen. I can't rightly tell you what I was thinking. My head felt hollow, like every thought had leaked out. I just stared. Watched that triangle start to turn. Slow at first, real slow, then faster and faster till it spun so quick it turned into a blur. A wheel of light in the middle of the dead quiet sky. Then bam! Gone. All 3 of them. Shot off in different directions, fast as bullets, leaving nothing behind. No trail, no glow, no sound. Just empty black. And I ain't seen them since. After that, I started feeling lightheaded, like something had knocked the wind clean out of me, so I wrapped up what I had to do with the hogs, wiped the sweat off my brow, and headed inside. Crawled into bed without a second thought. Now let me make something real clear. I ain't on drugs. Never touch the stuff. Though folks like to flap their jaws and say otherwise. What happened next? It don't fit into no storybook. It's the kind of thing folks call impossible. 'Cause believing in it means facing the truth they ain't ready for. I ain't asking you to believe me. Hell, I ain't even asking for sympathy, but I gotta tell it. All of it. And I gotta do it right. I told the cops, stole the papers, even sat across from men in stiff suits who asked questions like they already knew the answers. My name ended up everywhere. TV, newsprint, flyers, hanging on gas stations like I was some kind of missing person. Writers came knocking, wanting to slap my face on book covers. I turned them all down. This story, it's mine to tell, because it wrecked my life. Changed every damn thing. It started when I shot awake at that night. My heart was pounding like a war drum. In my room, it was glowing. There was light pouring through the window, but it wasn't like any light I'd ever seen. It weren't warm or yellow like the sun, and it sure as hell wasn't from no truck or spotlight. It was luminous, blind and white, hurt to open my eyes. Burned straight into my skull, gave me a pounding headache like my brain was trying to escape. I stumbled out, legs like jelly, hands shaking, made it to the door, barely. And when I opened it, my whole damn house was drenched in that same blinding light. Walls, floor, ceiling, couldn't see nothing but white. And underneath it all, I heard it. A low hum, deep, mechanical-like, not from this earth. It vibrated in my bones like the sound was coming from inside me. I couldn't tell if I was swaying or if the house was, but felt like everything was moving. Like reality itself had come loose and was spinning and slipping sideways. And that was just the beginning. All I remember was throwing my hands over my ears, trying to block out that god-awful hum. It weren't just the noise, it was in me, like it was rattling my damn bones apart. Next thing I knew, I was laid out cold on the floor. When I came to for a split second, I thought I woke up in a hospital. White walls, steel table, sterile as hell. Looked like some kind of operating room. Only it weren't any hospital I'd ever seen. First thing I saw was the light, bright and unnatural, glowing down on me like I was in a damn lab. Then I saw it. The being. Can't rightly describe it. My mind keeps trying to blur the edges like it knows better than to let me remember. But what I do remember is that needle. Long, thick, glinting in the light. Like something out of a nightmare. It jabbed into my side without a word. Burned like fire. I felt whatever it was pumping into me. Thick, cold, wrong. My whole body seized up. I saw, just out of the corner of my eye, blood rising around the metal, trickling down my skin from the puncture. Didn't take long before the darkness swallowed me again. Next time I woke, I was in my bed. My clock read 7:56 a.m. Thursday. 3 whole days gone, vanished. Felt like I'd only been out a couple hours. My head was pounding worse than that. My eyes was burning, throbbing. I reached up and instead of skin, I felt fabric. I shot up, stumbled to the bathroom, and there I was staring at myself in the mirror, wearing a damn eye patch. My fingers fumbled with the fabric as I peeled it back. I was horrified. My eye, black and bruised, it was leaking this thick, slimy substance. Stomach turned, dropped to my knees and puked till I had nothing left but dry heaves. And that's when it hit me. This wasn't no dream, no fevered nightmare. This was real, all of it. I lifted up my shirt to check my side, and there it was, big old bruise, dark as rock with a thin, tiny red dot dead center, like a brand, a reminder, proof that something unnatural had touched me and left its mark. I didn't know what the hell to do. I panicked. threw on some clothes, and hauled ass to the hospital. And that's where I made my first mistake. Doc took one look at me, at my eye, and said there was hydrogen fluoride residue in it. Said the damage was done. I'd be blind on that side for the rest of my life. But that weren't even the worst part of it. Blood tests came back showing traces of potassium permanganate in my system. Enough to kill most folks. They told me I was lucky to still be breathing. They started asking questions. What happened? Where'd it come from? And truth be told, I didn't have no clean, sensible answer. Only thing I had was the truth, so I gave it to them, raw and unfiltered. Didn't take long after that for a cop and some sharp-looking fella from the FBI to stroll into my hospital room, notepads in hand. They sat down real quiet, real still, and wrote down every damn word I said. Then the floodgates opened. Reporters, conspiracy nuts, folks with podcasts and cameras trying to get a piece of me like I was some freak show exhibit. They pounded on my door, begged the nurses, even tried bribing their way in just to ask me something. Wanted their names in the mix. Wanted to profit off my nightmare. When I was finally released and sent back home, that's when they came. No knock, no badge. Just a line of black SUVs and men dressed from head to toe in black. Not a stitch of skin showing. Dark glasses over their eyes, even though it was cloudy as sin out. They didn't say who they were. Didn't have to. The way they looked at me told me everything I needed to know. They weren't here to help. They were here to make sure I stayed quiet. They sat me down and asked me every which way about what happened. Said they believed me. Took my word like it was gospel. Then they did something strange. Put me under like hypnosis or something. Dug around in my head, pulling out every scrap of memory I had till I was spilling things I didn't even know I remember. When they left, I felt hollow. Dazed, like my brain had been wrung out and left to dry. I still don't rightly know what they wanted or if they even were who they claimed to be. Hell, I don't know nothing for certain no more. What I do know is ever since that night, folks look at me different. Like I'm cursed or carrying something that might rub off if they get too close. I walk down Main Street and they cross the damn road, whisper behind my back like I can't hear them, like I'm some thing now. Not a man, but that's all right. I got my land, my hogs, my new pups keep me company. Ain't much for crowds anyhow. Solitude's quieter, safer. Except for when Harold swings by. He's the only one that don't look at me like I'm contaminated. Still, there's this fear I can't shake. That being whatever it was, it ain't done with me. I feel it sometimes like a shadow hanging just out of sight. I don't know what it wanted or why it chose me, but I get the feeling its message wasn't meant for just me. Maybe it thinks the world would be better off without us. And if that's the truth, we ought to be scared. Real scared. 'Cause they ain't just coming for me anymore. They're coming for us all.